I'm currently road tripping the South Island of New Zealand. After the first leg that got me and my sister from Christchurch all the way south to Stewart Island, we're now about to explore Fiordland.
So over there, the iconic Milford Sound mountain.
Arguably one of the most beautiful places on earth. Of course, we're also stopping by at New Zealand's outdoor activity mecca, Queenstown.
We got ourselves some berg burgers.
So let's not waste time and explore more of Aotearoa, the country of the long white cloud. From Bluff we headed towards Te Anau, which is the last city before entering Fiordland. Leaving the flatlands of the Catlins behind, the scenery started to change the further we went towards New Zealand Sounds.
This is it. This is our campground, and it's just absolutely beautiful. We're at Totara campground, DOC campground. There's one toilet. It's pretty basic. They don't have cooking shelters or whatever. They have a couple of tables, and then this toilet, which is a long drop toilet. We're parked up here where we've got a little fire going actually. Well, the guy who's camping next to us, a Canadian guy, super nice dude, got a fire going, and it's actually permitted. You can have a fire here. Usually there's like, most of the places here have fire bans, but this one doesn't. And it's just, I mean, we're in this valley on the way to Milford Sound. The river's down there. I just got water for our noodles because we didn't bring enough water, and I just took river water and then we cooked it or boiled it, and then yeah, it's so great. I don't even know what to say about this place. It's not just this place. There's a whole bunch of DOC campgrounds along the way. And tomorrow we do the Milford Sound, and I'm so excited for it. We're gonna do a part of the Milford Trek because we've done the cruise before. So we get the water taxi to a specific point, and then we can just do like a day hike and do a part of the Milford Trek that's hopefully going to be amazing. The weather is awesome, and it's not often the case in Milford Sound, in Fiordland in general, but the weather's been pristine pretty much all the drive in, which is spectacular. Yeah, I could keep raving about it for ages.
With good chats at the campfire, we called it a night at probably one of the most scenic spots I've ever camped at.
Good morning! We're driving to the Milford Sound, and we're just driving through the most incredible landscape. Like right now, it's on the other side, it's insane. We just stopped by Eglinton Valley to do a couple of photos of like the mist that goes through the valley. And well, it's one of the best drives you can do in New Zealand for sure. It's right up there with the scenic drive into the Mount Cook Valley and everything. Incredible, like you just have to come here. Like if you come to New Zealand, and if you're planning a trip, don't miss out on Fiordland. Just the drive in is already super insane.
Milford Sound kept delivering, with great sunshine all the way. After finding a parking spot, we jumped in the water taxi that was gonna take us to the trailhead of the Milford Sound Trek.
So we're on the Milford Trek now, and it's beautiful so far. I mean, we've only done probably 1 kilometer or something like that. Temperatures are perfect. Like it couldn't be better. So as for options and activities in Milford Sound, there's a whole bunch of them. If this is your first time here, you could probably do the cruise, maybe in the afternoon or so, and do this one as a bit of a morning hike. Do the first water taxi and then do this, come back at 12 and then do the cruise later, because the cruise is what, 1.5 hours or so, I think. And that gives you like kind of the full range, so you see all the waterfalls at the main Milford Sound and all the stunning things that you see on Instagram. You can hear waterfalls, which probably means we're very close to Giant Gate Waterfalls, which is probably the end point of our trek today. We're not sure yet. We were actually quite quick, like not even 2 hours, I think. So maybe we just keep on going. I guess we have to find out. Do a little break first, and also look at those Giant Gate Waterfalls, which on Google looked amazing. So let's get there and check them out. it's just beautiful. I mean, you'd probably see this in Austria and Switzerland in a way as well, but what you don't find there is just kind of subtropical rainforest at the bottom with like big ferns and moss and everything. And that is what makes, well, Fiordland, but New Zealand in general, just so special, is how all these different landscapes are merged into one, and you'd find them all over the world, but you don't find them combined. And this is why this country is so special, and so many people do a really long travel to actually get to here, and it's so worth it.
Whilst I would definitely recommend a cruise on the main sound for first timers, we had done a cruise in the past and skipped it to move on to our next adventure in Fiordland that day.
Be aware, be prepared, the Routeburn trek off peak. Those views. This is what you just don't get when you do those hikes through the valleys and stuff. You just want to get high up, and then you want to see things like this. And this is just utter beauty. Good to do a hike again that kind of challenges you and your system. It tires you, but also it's just a good feeling when you're done. It's just more rewarding than those kind of flat hikes. They don't have a specific end point that's rewarding you. It's just like at some point you're just done. This is better.
The Key Summit trek was a hike that we both hadn't done yet, and it was absolutely worth trying it. Beautiful views over some of Fiordland's mountains, snow caps and distant lakes make this hike super rewarding.
Off to the next one. Lake Marianne trek ends at, well, Lake Marianne, hence the name. Supposedly not too difficult, also not too long, so a pretty chill one to probably end this day of hiking. We'll see. The weather is changing a bit, so when we got back to the car park at the Routeburn trek, it was sunny again, and then we got here and now it's kind of cloudy again and a bit windy. Walking through Jurassic Park, it's pretty much that. Don't know what else to say. It's so good. So we seem to be almost there, but it started raining, which is not good because this hike is a lot of fun when it's dry. But I reckon once we go back and parts are like full on wet, it's kind of slippery and not that nice. But I guess we're about to find out once we're going back down again.
Lake Marianne, nestled away between steep rock faces, is an absolute treat. If it hadn't been raining, I would have stayed there for hours probably, just taking in the incredible scenery.
Yeah, that's Fiordland weather, just how we like it. I mean, beautiful, but also a bit annoying.
Let's go see the Mirror Lakes on our way, most likely out of Fiordland, depending on the weather. After a short stop at the Mirror Lakes, we gave in to the weather and decided it was best to leave Fiordland, once again passing by the exceptionally looking Anglican Valley.
Cool thing is there's a day tour just over there, and we could just kind of eavesdrop on what the guy was telling them, and it was really interesting. So apparently, well, some of the Lord of the Rings, or I guess it was The Hobbit, because he said 220 was filmed here. But then also he said some of the scenes of one of the Mission Impossible movies is filmed here, where they do a chase through the mountains of Afghanistan, apparently, and that was filmed here, even though this is very much not Afghanistan. And also a couple of other things, like the opening scene, he said, of one of the Mission Impossibles on a cruise ship. I gotta watch this back because I can't remember. Was filmed here in Milford Sound. That was the cruise ship. And also what he said, and that was interesting, apparently when Peter Jackson filmed The Hobbit here, because they couldn't have normal traffic going through Milford Sound, Peter Jackson had to compensate all the tour companies that are in Milford Sound for the days he was filming here, and he had to kind of block the road for what they would do on a maximum, like, best day ever level for the days he was filming here. So that's quite interesting. Welcome to Lake Whakatipu, and one of the coolest views you'll get in New Zealand. Well, there's a million, but this one is seriously good.
It's getting boring, I know, but the drive along Lake Whakatipu towards Queenstown is one of those drives that will take your breath away.
So we're in Queenstown now, and it is busy. It is really busy. Queenstown is just growing and growing every year. We were just talking about how when Lucy was here the first time, like 18 years ago, that this whole industrial area here, where they have the Pack and Save, where they have Kmart, like all these shops, that this probably wasn't even here. And yeah, we're just in a bit of a traffic jam, and what we're doing now is escaping Queenstown, at least for the moment, and going to Arrowtown, which is this old gold mining town, and have a look at New Zealand's very short-lived gold mining history.
Established in 1862 at the height of the Otago Gold Rush, Arrowtown is a cute little town right next to Queenstown that, despite being very touristy, seems to try to hold up its heritage. It does so by offering something like an informal open-air museum with lots of info about the miners' lives in the mining community in the mid-1900s. After spending some time in Arrowtown, it was time to go back to Queenstown for a quick stroll around and a very obligatory Ferg burger.
We got ourselves some Ferg burgers, and because I'm a thorough researcher, I need to do a head-to-head test of at least 2 of them. 3 is probably too much, so I bought 2, a beef and a chicken one. So let's go and see what the Ferg burgers are like after 12 years. When I was here first time when I was 19, I didn't have much burger experience, I guess, but now I'm a seasoned burger eater, so let's see if they still hold up to their image.
In short, yes, they are still very good burgers.
Good morning from Queenstown, more specifically, a beautiful campground that is about a 15-minute drive from Queenstown, which is called 12 Mile Delta, and this is where we slept last night. It's also home to 2 Lord of the Rings filming locations. So this area is full with riverbeds like this one, and on one of these kind of sandbanks, stone banks, whatever, they filmed this one scene with the potatoes, where some teach Smeagol how to eat potatoes, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
The Mount Christian Loop Trek is a relatively easy hike that's less crowded, so if you don't feel like doing an overcrowded bone-crushing hike like Ben Lomond, this one is your go-to.
So this is Sam Summers' hut. Seems to be only for day hikers, so I think it said something like no overnighting here. It's open though. This looks like a very old mining hut actually. Got some beds, got a stove or something. Okay, I'm not sure if I want to sleep in this. There was loads of these kind of little minor huts and cabins. And most of them are just destroyed beyond return really. And then this one, the Sam Summers hut, was reconstructed by a couple of people.
As the walk leads through old mining territory, the topography is pretty interesting, and it's a pretty enjoyable walk with ever-changing surroundings. After a quick little dip in the lake, it was time then to tackle the last hike in Queenstown, the Queenstown Hill Trek. It's steep, it's a little monotonous at times, but it rewards you with great views over the surrounding areas when you made it to the top. And if this wasn't enough hiking already, we then moved on to Wanaka to do yet another hike. One that's probably amongst the most famous hikes in New Zealand.
Royce Peak excitement. Royce Peak, here we go again. 1 year later, a little bit more than 1 year later. I'm off to the same peak again, Royce Peak, with the tree of Wanaka, or Wanaka tree, and a couple of other kind of things like the Milford Sound, pretty much the most common kind of postcard motif. Once we're up there, you'll see this Royce Peak kind of photo walk, little photo hill. Everyone knows it, super famous on Instagram. The walk itself, supposed to be 6 hours. It's quite boring actually, but the views on Wanaka and like the surrounding mountains, those are incredible even from like the beginning. We're almost there. This last bit is crunch time, but I wanted to get it done in an hour. I mean, we're not at the top, but this over there is the photo spot. Just give me a couple of seconds. Look at this. This is so good. Oh, it's a bit windy up here, so I don't know if the camera picks this up. But look at that. It's a tiny, I don't know, parking lot, campground down there. Super steep. And yeah, this is where all the cool Instagram photos happen.
While the sunset wasn't the most spectacular I had ever seen, there's something magical about experiencing it overlooking the mountains that surround Wanaka.
We're just about to leave Wanaka towards the west coast. The weather is absolutely beautiful, and before we leave, there's of course one last little thing that you've got to do when you're in Wanaka, and that's having a look at the Wanaka tree, which is wildly underwhelming if you actually know where it's at compared to all the pictures that you find on Instagram. But we'll be there in like a minute, so let's check out the Wanaka tree. And yeah, once you're here at the actual location, you see that it's not hard at all to find the Wanaka tree, and also not to get to, because it's literally just this tree that is just right at the beach of like the main Wanaka beach, which is this. So Wanaka over there, and then this is where you get to see the tree.
Yes, that's Wanaka tree. Kinda underwhelming, right? However, what isn't underwhelming is the spectacular drive from Wanaka to the New Zealand west coast. And this is where we headed to next, experiencing the rugged, unpolished beauty of the western parts of the New Zealand South Island.